Here's a guy never lacking for confidence, the one and only Iaconelli.
And just like giving Derek Remitz credit, you've got to give Mike Iaconelli credit right now. He's caught over 100 pounds of bass.
A lot of times when you have confidence in an area, it's more of a matter of process of elimination until you figure out what they want. You'd never think with cloud and wind that flipping would be a predominant pattern. And today it was. So, that just goes to show you about fishing. My saying is always fish the moment, and that means forget about what you did yesterday or the day before and just go fishing. Let the fish tell you.
Hi, I'm Mike Iaconelli, professional bass fisherman, and I'm here to talk about a very new product. To be the best in the world, you've got to use the best. And Tru-Tungsten has come out with an awesome new product.
Big one. Big one. Ah! Woo! There it goes.
Good fish, quality fish there for Michael Iaconelli.
Actually a revolution in soft plastics. They've come out with a bait called the Stinger and Reverse Stinger. And it's revolutionary because of the way it's weighted. If you think about traditional Texas rig plastics, you've got a very stiff worm and a hook, and then you've got a weight. You've got a tungsten weight on top. Presents a pretty unnatural package. Tru-Tungsten has come out with a way to integrate the weight inside the worm. On the Stinger, you've got the weight in the head of the bait. On the Reverse Stinger, the weight is in the tail. They've got these things weighted 2 different categories, a 1/2 foot a second and a 1 foot a second, for shallower presentations and deeper presentations. This revolutionizes soft plastics because of the way we can fish it. First of all, it's the ultimate finesse technique. Think about it. No weight, a very natural presentation. It gives for a better glide, and you can cast this thing better. On the forward weighted Stinger, the bait's going to go down very naturally in a forward glide. It's going to go in and out of the cover in a forward motion. On the Reverse Stinger, because it's weighted in the tail, this bait is going to glide backward, almost flying backward into the cover. Supernatural presentation. Another really key important feature on this new Tru-Tungsten Stinger worm is that it's a soft hand pour style worm. And that's critical for that presentation, that natural action that you need to get the strikes. If you look at a lot of the traditional worms, they're stiff. They're very stiff and hard, and they're kinked. Very unnatural presentation. All the new Tru-Tungsten Stinger worms are very soft. Very flexible, pliable, and they've got that nice hand-poured finish, just like a West Coast worm. And the situation we got here, I could get this thing down 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, even 20 foot deep without ever adding a weight. The other great thing about not having to add a weight is the natural fall presentation, and that's the key to this bait. We don't have any kind of weight to obstruct the actual natural action of this bait. So if you look at that thing, the tungsten powder's in the front of the worm, we're able to cast that. Instead of this bait sinking like a rock, it's going to glide forward as it falls. Let's watch this bait as it sinks. On the Reverse Stinger, this is really a magical worm. For years on the pro circuit, we had a little secret, and it was using a nail in the tail of the bait to get the bait to glide backwards. The problem with the nail is you'd always get a kink in the worm, the nails would fall out. You know what? This is a new deal. You don't need a nail. The tungsten on the Reverse Stinger is built right into the worm. Same fall rate, 1/2 foot a second or 1 foot a second. And when this thing falls, instead of a very unnatural straight sink, this worm's actually going to glide backwards. It's going to drift backward, under the cover, under the branches, and right into the fish's mouth. Let's watch this thing as it falls backwards. Not only do these Tru-Tungsten worms have amazing action, they've got great castability. And there's a couple applications that are very unique to this worm. We're going to be able to use two casting techniques that are awesome. And one is the skip technique. Skipping technique basically is going to let this bait get underneath the objects, underneath the cover. Things like docks, trees, brush. And because there's no weight, we're going to be able to skip this thing naturally further back than any other fisherman. Now let's see how the Tru-Tungsten reverse stinger skips under these docks. I love it. The other real neat thing about this Tru-Tungsten stinger worm is cover. And we're talking about vegetation, matted stuff. Again, because the stinger is internally weighted with tungsten powder, there's no need to add a weight. This thing is literally going to glide and slide naturally over top of the cover. Let's watch this Tru-Tungsten worm as it creeps and glides over the vegetation. So if you want to get with the latest and the most revolutionary soft plastic bait in years, go out to your local store and get a Tru-Tungsten stinger worm with tungsten powder built right into the worm.